Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Caught on camera. Take a look at this. A man trying to open people's car doors on Ring camera video. Video circulating on social media. Now neighbors are on high alert. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Brent Harden. As you just saw, the man can be seen going from driveway to driveway, tugging on car door handles, attempting to break into those cars, of course. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson is in Wethersfield, where it all happened.
It's common practice to lock your doors when you park. But if you forget, you're opening the door for someone like me to break in.
What? Are you serious?
That's reaction from Fiona Jelli after I showed her video of attempted car break-ins on her street. She lives on Sunset Boulevard in Wethersfield.
You never know what people are going to do nowadays.
In the video, a hooded man runs up to a driveway and starts tugging on car doors to see if they're open. After having no luck at one house, he makes his way across the street where he gets the same result.
I thought it was a pretty nice neighborhood and someone's trying to break in. So yeah, even if you're running in, you got to lock your car, shut your windows, no matter what.
Jelli says it's not uncommon for neighbors to park outside. Her brother, who wants to remain anonymous, says this was never on his radar.
A little bit odd. Makes it a little odd because we're in a nicer area, Wethersfield. I wouldn't have given it a thought. No, I didn't cross my mind until I heard about it.
The man who posted the video, Noel Aguilar, was shocked when he saw the footage.
It's a quiet neighborhood, and I was just surprised that I didn't even hear it. And then when I checked my phone, I saw the video, and I was so shocked. So I went out and then checked, and I was just terrified that that thing happens in the neighborhood.
Since this happened, Noel says he's more cautious.
I'm paranoid now. Since that happened that night, I look at my phone. It's much better for the whole neighbor just to be vigilant about it and watch everybody's back.
We reached out to police to see if they are investigating these attempted break-ins, but have not heard back yet. In Wethersfield, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
Hi, Jamel, thank you. Breaking news tonight. Police identified a body found earlier this week in the Connecticut River in Rocky Hill. She is Glastonbury resident 72-year-old Mary Colasanto. Police say a boater found Colasanto near Ferry Park on Sunday. She's been missing since March 30th. We are still waiting to learn what caused her death.
Temperatures are going down a bit. In fact, some parts of the state will see frost.
Yeah, we don't want to hear that when we've been warming up to the spring weather. But yeah, frost advisory has been issued. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here now with the first check of the forecast. Rach?
Yeah, this is for Litchfield County and Litchfield County alone. But still, the fact that we're even talking about this, it can be hard to hear. We'll see overnight lows that stay above freezing, but could get cold enough to kill some early season plants. And that's why the National Weather Service has issued that. In Litchfield County, just talking to people through the years, most don't do any planting until after Mother's Day weekend. But still, if you want to be cautious, cover your plants with a light blanket, or if it's a potted plant, you can bring it inside. Here's a look at low temperatures tonight. Clearly 30s for Litchfield County, but near 40 degrees in the Hartford area. We could also see some 30s in northeastern Connecticut and 40s for the immediate shoreline. Meantime, it is absolutely stunning out there today, 71 degrees. And I think tomorrow will be another gorgeous day as well. We're looking at temperatures right now that are actually a few degrees warmer at the shoreline than inland areas. So we're mixing things up. Tomorrow we'll start off with temperatures in the 40s, 30s for some of our cooler spots, and we'll finish up around 70. So very similar temperatures tomorrow inland, but at the shoreline it'll be a bit cooler. We're looking at highs closer to 60 degrees. And the reason why is because the wind will be blowing off of Long Island Sound. Call that a sea breeze. It warms up for Friday and Saturday, but we're timing out the chance for a few showers and storms. Your full forecast is coming up in just a bit.
All right, Rachel, thank you. The back and forth battle is over, and a Plymouth swingers club that was originally ordered to shut down in March must now close its doors for good.
It may have been an uphill battle for the club to stay open, and a lot of that had to do with its neighbor, a Baptist church. Fox 61's Joe Monty has more from Plymouth.
Only a few feet separates the doors of the Riverside Baptist Church in Plymouth and the swingers club right next door. Tuesday night, the town reaffirmed its original decision to close the club down. At the Plymouth Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, members of the community, the church, and the club, Wicked Fun, got the opportunity to speak their mind. David Townsley, Reverend of the Riverside Baptist Church, hopes the club owners left the meeting with a message.
Just leave everybody alone. We don't want you here.
In March, club owners were given a cease and desist order due to zoning violations. Club owners appealed the order, but in a meeting on Tuesday, the town voted to uphold the decision because it says Wicked Fun violates zoning regulations for adult use businesses. Among other issues, a business of this nature must be at least 1,000 feet away from a church. People from the area like Andrew DeFilio tell me he's not surprised the club was shut down. He says it's hard to get anything approved in Plymouth.
It's obviously not my cup of tea, but for anybody who wants to do something like that, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Everybody has a right to do what they want to. I think at this point they're just looking for a reason to shut people like that down.
Friends Amy Daly and Aislinn Dion tell me Plymouth is family-oriented, and a business like that doesn't fit in.
And for a lot of adults to be going around doing that is really weird, and it's definitely not for this town.
Especially next to a church.
Yeah,
I don't think
next to the church is crazy.
The best spot.
Reverend Townsley says when it comes to the club, there was also a lack of oversight from the town.
There's no state license requirement for adult-oriented clubs or adult-oriented businesses. And that's quite strange when you think that every kind of service provider, restaurant, pretty much anyone that has a business or a skill has to have a license.
Townsley said he'd like to see changes in the law so that officials can have more oversight into businesses like swinger clubs. The club owner says he wants to sue the town over its decision to close the club. People in town tell me for the most part that they're happy the club is gone. In Plymouth, Joe Monti, Fox 61.
Joe, thank you. New Haven police arrested a woman who they say shot and killed a man last December. Police were called to Walnut Street at 1:15 in the morning for a shooting on December 4th. Police identified the victim as 57-year-old Russell McKenzie, and officials say 26-year-old Eileen Marrero was the woman who pulled the trigger. She was taken into custody Friday. Friends and family of McKenzie say this is a step toward justice, but the grief is still raw.
Russell was a close friend, and when you lose somebody like Russell, your world gets a little bit smaller. He was a once-in-a-lifetime friend, and like Destiny said, he had just celebrated 20 years of being clean, and Russell got clean, and he wanted to help others get clean. As tragic as this may be, he opened the door and tried to help the suspect on several occasions. And although this brings some relief, it doesn't bring us, closure.
Now, Marrero faces manslaughter, criminal possession of a firearm, and carrying a pistol without a permit charges. She is currently being held on $1 million bond. It's unclear when she will appear in court.
Well, Waterbury police arrested a 19-year-old and 3 younger kids. Police say they were part of an after-school brawl at Kennedy High School. They say the fight was so large, multiple officers and school staff members had to break it up. 19-year-old Jaciel Barreros has been charged. The other teens were also charged. No one was seriously hurt. We're still trying to learn if anyone who was arrested is a student there.
Milford police are looking for whoever set 2 fires less than 10 minutes apart. On April 19th, just before 8 p.m., firefighters and police were called to North Street for a fire. We're told exactly 8 minutes later, there was another fire at Gulf Beach. Officials say they believe both fires might have been caused by the same person or people. If you know anything about this, you are asked to give Milford police a call. And a Rhode Island man faces voyeurism charges tonight. Stonington police say he filmed co-workers in the restroom where he worked. Michael Arruda is charged with 12 counts of voyeurism. Police say he hid his phone behind rolls of toilet paper of the Pizza Lady restaurant. Arruda posted a $50,000 bond. Experts say there's a link between child abuse and animal cruelty, and local leaders want to tackle the 2 issues together.
Yeah, the governor and other state officials today were in Newington to talk about the impactful partnership between the Connecticut Department of Children and Families and the Connecticut Department of Agriculture. Over the last several years, the groups have been reporting to each other when they see animal or child abuse in a home. And through this partnership, the state has seen an increase in animal cruelty reports. Agencies have increased staffing and data collection to help animals and kids stay safe.
The most vulnerable of our population are those who do not have a voice. Dogs and cats can't pick up the phone and dial 911, and in many cases children don't have access to be able to do the same thing. So it's very important that if you are a witness, to report abuse. And also this cross-reporting component that is mandatory here in the state of Connecticut is rare.
Research shows animals were harmed in 88% of homes where a child was physically abused, and children exposed to domestic violence are 3 times more likely to be cruel to animals. You can report animal cruelty to your local animal control department or by calling the number there on your screen. Your report can be anonymous. And if you also think a child is being mistreated or abused, call the phone number there on your screen anytime. DCF is available year-round, 24/7. You can also remain anonymous.
And new here at 6, Senator Richard Blumenthal introduced a bill today that would expand access to mental health care for veterans. It's called the BRAVE Act. That stands for Building Resources and Access for Veterans Mental Health Engagement. Senator Blumenthal says around 17 veterans commit suicide each day. If passed into law, this would strengthen the Department of Veterans Affairs mental health workforce, infrastructure, and services, like extend the Staff Sergeant Parker Gordon Fox Suicide Prevention Grant Program, require vet centers across the country to improve their technology systems, outreach efforts, and staffing, and require the VA to consider additional mental health risks specific to women veterans, and more.